Welcome to a special episode of My Views Extended. This episode, I wanted to do an interview for
World Sickle Cell Day, June 19th. That's a Sunday this year.
And with a special guest, my sister, Elizabeth, and she is...
Her sister and I have sickle cell anemia.
Oh boy. She has sickle cell anemia. That's why I wanted to interview her and somebody who has the disease and has obviously lived with it their entire life. So she is more of an expert than I am. So we will get started. Can you tell us what is, in layman's terms, what is sickle cell anemia?
In layman's terms, sickle cell anemia is a blood disease. It's a disease that you have from birth. It's genetic, which means you get it from your parents. Typically, you don't tend to die from it. It's just something that chronically affects you through your life.
And what type of sickle cell anemia do you have? And give us a little, the variations, again in layman terms, and what type do you have?
Sickle cell anemia, it's a broad term for differing types of the disease. You can be SS, which means you have two S's. You can be SC, which is an S and a C. The gene for sickle cell is S, hemoglobin S. You can be sickle thalassemia, and there are other various differing mutations, but the SS, SC, AS, those are the main variations that will have a person present at an emergency room or their doctor's office.
Because a lot of diseases have different misconceptions about them. What are the misconceptions about sickle cell anemia that you've encountered over the years?
I guess that you can't really do much and then I'm gonna die. You just think, oh, I've got sickle cell, so I can't do this. And, it's not true. You can do whatever you want. You just have to take precautions and take care of yourself and recognize when you're gonna get sick and just, make sure you take care of yourself. And any problems, go see your doctor. And taking care of yourself also leads into not dying earlier. You can't choose what type of sickle cell disease, what type of variation of sickle cell anemia you will have, but you can choose how you take care of yourself. And if you get medical intervention quickly, and if any problems, you see the appropriate person as soon as possible.
And that has to do with having regular contact visits with a GP or a specialist. Is that part of the...
For me, yes. When I was younger, I was a pediatric case, so they tend to, if you're under 19, they'll throw you in a hospital quicker than you can blink. But when you get older, you have to be proactive about your health care, which means seeing your GP, doing your own research, and then finding out if there is a sickle cell clinic. We live in BC and we used to live in Ontario, and there is two main centers for sickle cell disease. There's Toronto General in Toronto, and then there is Sick Kids Hospital. Those are two world famous centers for sickle cell disease in Canada and in the world, and they have links to communities across Canada to make sure that the patients are taken care of and to help guide patients to people who can give them help.
What are your fears about, or a fear about, living with sickle cell anemia?
Losing my independence. It's the scariest thing in, many aspects. Just, not being able to do stuff for myself, having to depend on people. I broke my foot 2 years ago, and that was horrible. I was the worst patient in the world, and you really, being sick and having to lay in bed and, and just having to depend on people, you really realize how much the world expects you to be a fully functional, with all limbs, all five senses. Basically, they expect you to be that type of an able-bodied 25-year-old male through your entire life, and that's not possible. And when you can't do that, and you're like, oh my god, this disease could take my independence away, it's very, very scary.
That would suck.
It does. It's just, like I said, it took me a while to realize that if you're not that strong, able-bodied person with this and this, and, the world doesn't seem to really, not the world, but people sometimes don't care that you can't be that stereotypical 25-year-old male with all his strength, attention, and this and that.
And then too, I think because you may look okay, I think that comes into that with a lot of different illnesses. It's kind of an invisible illness.
It definitely, yes, it is. I remember I was sick at school, and I was just sick, but I needed food, and I didn't want to rely on my friends to buy me my food. I felt that that's not their responsibility, it's my responsibility. And I think I said to my friends, I go, yeah, I'm sick and I'm home from school and I'm home from work, but I need to buy food. So I can't care what anybody else thinks. If they think they see me and they think I'm well, the point is I'm ill, but who's going to buy my food? You know, we reserve those types of services for people who have
They're in a wheelchair.
And people don't realize that there are many invisible disabilities.
So we talked about fears. What are some negatives? Or we kind of spoke about a few negatives and then some positives about living with sickle cell anemia.
Negatives are I have a lot of downtime. I'm lucky. I like to knit, and I've newly discovered Netflix, which is fantastic, by the way.
It is good. It's a little addictive.
It is very Netflix. If you have any Netflix should be like subsidized by the government.
Oh boy, I don't know about that one.
But and I knit. I love knitting, and so that kind of keeps my hands occupied. And of late I've realized when I start taking up yarn for projects, that means I'm getting sick. So it's helped me to kind of figure out myself as well. So I can find things to do when I'm sick. You know, those are the negatives. And you know, not having energy to do what I want to do, it's really hard. I mean, most of the time I'm okay, but unfortunately, as my sister, you know, sometimes I just don't have the energy to do things. And it's as bad as I know it is for her, it's worse for me because I want to be there, I want to do things, and it's really, really hard. I mean, I'm lucky one of my best friends, well, two of them are doctors, and one, she forces me when I go visit her, she's like, she has to sleep, she tells her husband that she has to sleep, and then, you know, and they're very, and that kind of forces me to be better and push myself. And I got that from a friend of mine who has debilitating migraines, and you know, and as I've gotten older, I've learned, especially from my friend with the migraines, to kind of push myself. And you know, I'm always going to have downtime. I find things to do with my downtime, but then I realize, you know, life is short. How about you push yourself a little bit?
Or when you feel better, you do as much as you can.
Yeah, that's basically
because you don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, right now I'm a really bad migraine, so it's probably not safe for me to go out because I'm a little bit dizzy. But I'm hoping I feel better enough to go into town and I love going downtown and, you know, exploring the neighborhoods and going for a walk, and I like go to Nordstrom's and sniff the candles. I just, you know, so I try to balance the downtime with doing stuff in the good time, and that's all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Positives are the I guess to elaborate on that, they've pushed me to do things. So I love judo and knitting. It's weird, but it's whatever. But the point is that it forces
you to live in the moment.
It does. It forces me to live in the moment, but it also forces me to go do things and do the things that I really, really love. Like, I only mention stuff that I really, really love. I don't mention stuff that, well, yeah, I do only mention things I love, because that's, you know, and things like the negatives are the worst negative is not being able to fly when I'm sick.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
That's a huge one. I was just thinking about positives, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm hoping to go back home to Ontario to visit some family and friends, and you know, I've kind of had to sort of not say anything about that just in case I am sick, so I don't disappoint. And that's another thing as well. Some things I can't do because I can't promise anybody I'll be well, and that's not fair to other people. I guess the negatives is just not being able to the grand negative is not being able to participate in life
how you want to.
How I want to, or just be there for people. I mean, when I broke my foot, like, you know, our little cousin, she came to visit me, and she now understands, as she's gotten older, she understands that I can't help being sick, that it's just what it is. But then, like I said, it forces us to be more present and just to do what you can when you can.
Over the years, you've lived in two different parts of Canada. Well, several different parts of Canada, but two different provinces in Canada, and you've also lived in the UK. How do you feel about how the various medical communities around the world, how they deal with sickle cell anemia? Whether it's hospitals, your GP specialists?
This is where I go NHS, Scotland. They're awesome. I got really, really good care in the NHS. The care that I got in Canada evolved, I'll be honest with you. I would have sickle cell crises in my early 20s where they would look at me in the face and go, "You're not having a crisis." Because I didn't present. I have SC disease, which means that I will have sickle cell crisis, but not to the extent and not in the places that a person with SS might have. Because I didn't present that way, I would come home crying because I was in absolute agony, and they would look at me and say, "You're not having a crisis." That never happened in the UK. Not once. The first crisis I had, they fought over me. They heard I was coming in, and medical and hematology had a fight. And medical goes, we got you now, but next time hematology's gonna get you. It wasn't too bad because the hematology,
That was a good thing, I'm assuming.
it was a good thing. And I like to call it my teaching years. But well, because they don't get where I was in Scotland, they don't get the cases. So they're going to take the cases that they see and they're going to use me. And I didn't mind it because they were just people and whatever. I didn't care.
Was it a teaching hospital?
It was a teaching hospital. It was attached to a university. So I didn't mind it. And I lucked out because hematology was lumped in with oncology as it usually is. And the wards were clean as. I did see nurses, with people going through transplants. So it had to be clean. Leave that aside. Canada, it's gotten better. Luckily, I think part of the reason it got better was that nurses trained in Toronto, they moved around the province. So they would go to London, or they would live in London and come to Sarnia. Or you would have nurses, because we lived on the border, they would train
to the United States.
Because they lived on the border, they would be living in Sarnia or wherever in the county, and they would go to Detroit because it's very close. Just the geography of the place works that way. So they would see sickle cell cases. And I think that was probably the main driver of how my care got better when I came back to Canada, to Ontario, that the nurses got better. So they believe and this is where I go nurses and go community college nurses without university. Nurses are fantastic. And when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they can be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had bad nursing.
Mm-hmm.
But it got, like I said, it got better. And I think it was just those nurses moving around and seeing. And it was once the nurses see and understand what sickle cell is and how it differently presents, they can push the doctors.
Yeah, they're really good advocates and they're on your side.
They're, and like I say, I push for nurses, I push for RNs who are RNs without the year of university. That's another topic. But yeah, and as well, we had a doctor who came in. We had several new doctors come in in the past 15 years. One was a South African doctor, and he did something that changed my care in the past 6 to 8 years, which was he advocated community care nursing, which meant that a nurse would come to my house, an order would go out from my doctor, the nurse would come to the house, and she would administer IV fluids in the house. So I could rest and sleep, because I can sleep a lot, like 10 to 14 hours at a go. And what she would do is she would start an IV in our kitchen, in our dining room, and she put up the bags. It's just fluids, really. It's just fluids overnight to make sure I'm hydrated, and I would sleep and rest, and that took that pressure off the hospital and took pressure off me worrying that I gotta go into a hospital, I gotta register, I gotta be around people with germs, and it
freed up a bed.
And it's most especially it freed up a bed. And then another doctor, he was from the army. He's like, I don't know anything about your disease, but I believe you, and I believe the nurses and what they're saying. And that really, and to have that background, to have two doctors who are willing to take you and what you say, and to listen to the nurses who know and see, they're caring for you. The reality is people think all these shows, doctor shows, I show doctors caring, and I'm sorry, it's the nurses. My best friend is a doctor, and I love her. But my point is that the hands-on care that you see on doctor shows doesn't really happen as much as the nursing care happens. That's what I mean to say. I would love to believe that junior doctors are there and they take care and they do this. No, they're too busy doing work. It's the nurses that take care of you, and they see, and they've seen sickle cell patients. They can judge what's true, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like I said, that really changed my care after, we'll say, that really changed my care and made sure that I was taken care of. And so between, and as well, I have to know that when I'm sick, if it's too much for me to handle, I have to go into the hospital.
Which you can't be stubborn about.
Yes, but a lot of it's stubbornness because of somebody looking you in the face and telling you you're not having a sickle cell crisis. I'm like, you have no idea what I'm going through. You have no idea. And growing up, Mom was very much, I put a cap, I'll be honest with you, I put a cap on how much I feel, because if I were to really wail about you, I would sound like our aunt. It would like, if I were to go on about how bad I feel and really let people know, you'd want to shut me up. Mom, at one point, it was like, she's like, you gotta tamp that down, and I did, and so I just naturally do, because not gonna, I find it doesn't really help. I find it really doesn't.
What do you mean, complaining or
Yeah,
just letting people know how you truly feel?
Yeah, because sometimes, like, I've let people know how I tried it both ways, and I wouldn't, and so I just thought, you know what, just forget this, just, like, you know, and I just sort of I just put it, you know, I just put like cotton wool over how I feel, and just go, I feel crap. I just feel really crap. I think, no, my term for feeling bad is I'm not feeling fantastic right now. I mean, I could go on and feel bad,
But I think certain people in your life, you don't have to tell them. We can tell.
yes,
Like, I know I can tell. I know your best friend can tell. Certain people can tell when you're not feeling
but I'm not feeling fantastic.
great, even though you say you're fine or okay.
Yeah.
We know you're lying.
Well, because you're reading my body language.
Mm-hmm.
And body language is a truer, for me it is. I just, you know, and that's how it is. I just find that it's not, I guess it's past, it's a scarring past experience that scarred me, in that going on and on and on isn't going to get me what I want over and over and over again. So just, it's almost like I'm playing a role. It feels like it does, because it just, I don't know, it just feels like that, because
I think I get it, though. I mean, nothing's changing. The symptoms aren't changing. The pain's not changing. Nothing can really be done. So why bother?
Yeah, there is a feeling of just like, I mean, yes, you know, my last admission, you know, if I was in that bad of pain, they would have moved me to a special ward, which I find weird, but I understand because we're in a metro area. But I was fine. And the reality is, I'm going to be completely honest, I just wanted home, because once I figured out that I was in a room with somebody with MRSA, I was honest.
No offense to the people with the disease, but somebody with a lowered immune system should not be in a room with somebody with a communicable
on precautions,
disease, pathogen, whatever the heck you want. I don't know.
And they didn't. Here's the thing: they didn't warn Nadia. They didn't warn me to, you know, maybe wash your hands a little bit more. They didn't say anything to us, to me, or as a patient. They just walked around with, you know, gowns and crap. And I'm looking around because I studied microbiology and genetics. And so I'm looking around, I'm like putting two and two together, and I'm thinking, holy crap. I told Nadia once, I said to her, I didn't even know what was going on, but I said, when you get home, drop your crap at the door and have a shower and Lysol your stuff. And we did that. And when I got home on the Monday, that's what we both did. We dropped our stuff. We put everything in I put everything aside, and I put it in a wash, and I put Dettol. I just, you know, and and that's probably a fear as well. You're helpless. When you're in a hospital, you are helpless. You eat on somebody else's timetable. You sleep on somebody else's timetable. You get your medication on somebody else's timetable. The only thing you can really do is eat, pee, and crap on your own timetable. That's probably about the only thing you can do. You lose so much independence, and people sometimes don't realize that. And going about moaning and going on, it might not make you feel better. It might make you feel better, but it might not get
you what you change anything.
It's not going to change your the powerlessness of the situation, and it may not get you any more pain medication. So why bother in that roundabout way?
I'm hearing that you definitely are happier with the care that you received in the UK.
Oh hell. Yes, sorry.
But now, even though we haven't been here that long, what do you, compared to Ontario versus BC currently, which kind of has more positives?
One of my best friends, she's a GP in England. She mentioned they're going that way. They're treating people at home. And I'll be honest, you know, as great as time I had, you know, good care, I like that model of care where in Ontario, where you treat people at home. There is nothing wrong with that. I do not understand why that is not possible in BC. I do think BC should be asking for more federal healthcare dollars to help people.
Redirection. They don't necessarily ask for more, but redirection of funds.
Or something, because and that's another debate as well. Healthcare, you know, how to homogenize healthcare or get some sort of cross border to coast to coast system going on.
It should be. I think it definitely should be. We're in Canada. It should be the same thing.
It should be. Yeah, it should be. And listen, I understand that there's differing, as they call it, differing in postcode prescribing, where you're going to have differences between county to county.
Well, they shouldn't. They can make it one if they want to.
I would say that we need to get more people at home. We live in a metro area where there's a lot of immigrant communities where people take care of each other. There should be that choice to take care of people at home. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. This whole thing where you can't get nursing care at home, I find absolutely unbelievable. I think, especially older people, getting them care at home, whether it's just for an illness or it's chronic disease or it's an end of life thing, getting more nurses to go into homes. And people go, oh, well, dangerous things. But that's what that's what community care access is for. They evaluate homes. They'll talk. I've been through this. They talk to you. They come to the home. They evaluate. They ask you if you have pets, allergies. They look at the house. It's not. I'm not talking about sending poor nurses into an unknown situation without backup, without help. I'm asking for nursing care where possible. Leave the serious stuff for the hospitals and keep people in their homes, because we've heard about so many cases of MRSA, C. difficile, people getting things in hospitals when if they had been at home, they might not have got that. And the best thing about being at home, you're in with your stuff. You've got your food, you've got your family, and your family doesn't have to go into, depending on, what's going on with you. It's $60 to go from where we live to my hospital one way. That's a lot of money. That's food. That's a food budget. I really do believe that we need that BC needs, the lower mainland needs one healthcare system. This is ridiculous that you've got Fraser Health and they've got Vancouver Coastal Health, I think it's called. It should be one system, or merge the system so that things can go back and forth. It's all politics, like apparently it's money, it's all that, but that doesn't, start doing things for the patients, because they're the ones whose taxpayer dollars are paying for you to do that. I just think I'm a big advocate for people being at home. One of the best nurses I had, she's got 6 grandkids. I'm her Facebook friend. She knew and talked to, she was almost like family, and to get that is a special thing. And she is a good nurse, and she is, oh my God. I will always stand behind nurses.
Okay. What do you want to share? What do you want people to know about sickle cell anemia? I want people to know that you can get it. It doesn't matter what your racial background, you can get it. I know people who are Puerto Rican Caucasian. I know people who are Chinese. I know people who are Black and multiracial. And that having the disease isn't a death sentence. You just have to take care of yourself. It's not a curse. In certain cases, this disease will save your life. In what way? In what way? The disease is actually a genetic mutation in response to the malarial parasite. The malarial parasite spends part of its life cycle living in human blood cells. It likes red blood cell looks like a donut, and it's the right size, right conditions for malarial parasite. If you have the sickle cell mutation, your blood cell is not a great place for that parasite to live in. It'll tend to resist getting malaria, whereas everybody else won't, because their blood cells are the normal size. I look on it, it's just one of nature's mutations, nature trying to get us to live. So basically, if there's a malaria outbreak, you'll live and I'll die. Well, no. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's every time I hear a horrible story that malaria, it's resisting a new drug, I think to myself, not get rid of this mutation anytime soon. There are cures for sickle cell disease in specific cases. Cures? It's not a cure. It's basically what will happen. Remission. It's basically like cancer, like how you get a bone marrow transplant. They have done it, but as of yet, nothing's really been successful in adult cases. They have done it in children, but I don't know if I believe that one. I think it's, if anything, it's a remission. No. Whether it's for a transplant for cancer or for sickle cell, they have to kill off your bone marrow. So it's basically you're receiving bone marrow from a match of a sibling. So, and that can't happen where you'd have host versus graft disease if they left any bone marrow of your own bone marrow alive. Okay. But it is a therapy. It's not widely
I don't think it's a widely available, and it's basically on a case by case. That treatment is a case by case treatment option because it's dangerous. You're taking a child, you're putting them through radiation to eradicate their bone marrow, and you're giving them another, their immune system could react badly. There's like host versus graft versus host. There are repercussions to that treatment, and it's on a case by case and tends to be people with SS.
Interesting. And you have SC.
I have SC. SC tends to be more virulent because you get a double whammy of the sickle cell gene.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
Go Nordstrom's for having clean bathrooms.
We're not advertising for Nordstrom's. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
No.
Okay. I will leave her Instagram Instagram link to her Instagram page. What is it again? What's
Blackberry Bee?
Blackberry Bee, at Blackberry Bee on Instagram. Thank you for joining me for this interview. Sunday, June 19th, 2016 is World Sickle Cell Anemia Day, and I will leave some links so you can see what's happening in your neck of the world, country, city, hemisphere to see what's going on.